Hello, Volpo here, and today I'm going to be doing another time-lapse video. This time it'll be for a devlog for a game. I don't even have a title for now. I'm just going to call it Untitled until I come up with one. I'm going to be doing this with a friend, and so I will be doing the art, including the music. So I'll have some fun with that later in the week. But for now, I'm just doing some concepting, also, warming up in Photoshop. I've never really done a project this big before, so it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. I'll be obviously doing devlogs. That's what this is right now. And right now what you're seeing, actually a little bit later in the video, you're going to see I make a little bit of a concept video of the mechanics. And the entire game, it basically just requires cubes. But I need to make those cubes look good. So that's why I'm just making a wood texture and then also do a stone texture. But otherwise, I don't have anything planned in terms of story. You'll see later in the video as well. I also do a bit of research. I get some ideas about what I kind of want to do. But nothing set in stone as of now. Speaking of stone, you can see here these textures that are very fast, very quick. Just want to get them over with. Not putting 10 hours into one cube. But you see I'm also using different brushes. Honestly, I kind of suck with brushes, using different ones for texture. But that was that. So I'm not going to show a final result because I'm not going to use it. But right now you're seeing, now I'm working on the actual concept video. And here I'm just making the cursor. And right now I'm trying to download Eevee. Or I'm looking at Eevee because a real-time render engine would be really good. And what's cool about Eevee is that the node for the materials is very similar to UE4's, which is the game engine, Unreal Engine 4. That's the game engine that me and my friend are using. And so the materials in Eevee can very easily be translated into Unreal 4 materials, which is very useful, but I end up not actually downloading it correctly, at which point I just kind of have to move on and continue without Eevee. And so here I'm making my cubes. See, there's one cube. I think I textured it off of the video because I just popped up with a texture. But the texture I made in Blender, just real quickly. And these right here are all temporary. You're going to see in the next devlog, I'm going to start actually formulating story, doing all that. I haven't formulated a story yet as of recording this, but I should have at least some ideas down. And so here I'm also adding things that aren't going to be on screen. These are just so my programmer knows, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that, and also so he knows the controls. And this mouse, I'm making a mouse, and I have one material for both the spacebar and the mouse, which I'm going to animate in order to emulate clicking. Now here for the camera movement, something that I do very poorly is that the camera actually tilts, but ideally it only moves up and down, and it also orbits around. And you're going to see this in the video. It's going to play very soon. But also, for the mouse movement, the way that I make it look like an actual mouse is I play the animation, but I include automatic keyframes. And I just move the mouse around, so it actually is moving as though I'm moving it, which is very useful. The one thing that I feel kind of dumb now for not realizing is that I could have also rotated the ball in the movement of a mouse, while I was moving it. But I didn't, and it works. That's fine. I'm also adjusting the materials so that they become slightly transparent whenever the mouse hovers over them. And you'll see here in a minute or so, even less, it's going to play and you're going to understand everything. And these are just the mechanics. So these are meant to look like crap, but function. And so I just want to make sure that my programmer knows, okay, these are the functions we need. I don't care if it looks bad. I don't care if it doesn't look good. I'm being redundant. But here I am, just animating it one bit by bit, following the cursor. And here's the actual video.
When the night is over.
You can see there the camera was tilting, which I do not want. But now I go ahead and I start doing some research into Greek mythology, because Greek mythology is really cool, and I like it. And also, I read the Percy Jackson series, and I was like, hey, this is cool. So I'm learning a bit more. I'm doing some research. And the one thing that I also end up doing some research on is the planet Uranus, because of its name. And what's weird is that Uranus's name, Uranus, that's a Greek god, but the names for all the other planets are from Roman gods. So if only it was a Roman god that like we named Uranus after, Uranus wouldn't have such a weird name, which is annoying. But I mean, it is what it is. Now, something else that I found really cool here while I was researching is that there's this mountain where all the Olympians live. Those are like the cool gods, and they live on Mount Olympus. And Mount Olympus is a real place, and people have actually climbed it, which was really cool for me, because I know that in Christianity you have heaven, which is like above the earth, and so you don't actually see it. But no, Mount Olympus is a real thing. And here I'm also researching the underworld, and the underworld. The reason why I was researching both like Olympus and the underworld, with Olympus being like really high up and underworld being really low, is that I was thinking about centering the game either around Olympus or the underworld. I hadn't made my mind up yet, but by this point I did, and now I'm just gathering a bunch of references. The one game that I found and I started playing only because of its art style is Dungeon Defenders 2, and everything in the game is hand painted, and I love it. And so you see, 4 out, like almost half of my references there are from Dungeon Defenders. I'm also there looking for some humans for like reference. I mean, not that I don't have humans around me, but just I want pictures of humans. And here I'm trying to model Zeus, but I haven't modeled in a long time. And either way, I'm modeling really terribly. So I end up just scrapping this entire thing. Like, I make a whole body. I'm going to scrap it like right after I record this. Actually, I can scrap it right now.
'Cause I start thinking again.
Now that that's scrapped, the reason why I scrapped it is because, I just came back to modeling after a long time not modeling. I did do some modeling in CAD because I have a 3D printer. And so it's cool. I posted about it on my Instagram. But here's a picture of what I made. See, it's Cloud9 logo.
Can he do it though? All the experience, as much experience as the veterans of VP, but no!
But that's not really Blender modeling. So here I'm like doing some Blender modeling for the first time in a really long time. And I'm also trying to get some like foundation down, get some practice. Although, really I should not have started with Zeus, because Zeus, he's like a character. He's a human. He's complex. If I get it wrong, it's going to look obvious, but it's going to be hard to tell what's wrong. And so, really should not have started on human, but I did. Why not? I mean, got me into it. I was at least doing some work, but it's scrapped now. So, I'm going to remake him, but I'm going to make Zeus last, just because if I make him first, it's really hard. I shouldn't have started on him, but I mean, nonetheless, I'm just making the hands. The hands here, they're actually very simple. They're literally just like 2 sticks. One for the thumb and one for the rest of the fingers. This is going to be a low poly game, so I'm not going to care about like getting super detailed or using normal maps. I don't even want to use normal maps, honestly. Like for the hair, I think it'd be really cool if I use particle systems, or at least I just use like a bunch of overlapping meshes, because that looks cool. I mean, it works really well for foliage. And right here, what you're going to notice is that the way that I'm making all the UVs straight is I'm selecting rows and then I'm scaling along either the X or the Y by 0. And to actually line up my different UV islands, I'm doing a bit of texture painting and just matching the lines, because I paint lines in Blender with the texture painting. And that's about that for this week's devlog. I mean, I didn't do too much work, but I was just starting to get into the flow of it. Hopefully by next one, I'll have at least a couple assets that are like completely finished that I can show. But otherwise, I hope that you liked the time-lapse. If you did, definitely comment below. I'm going to try doing some more video editing. Also, leave feedback on anything that I can do better. That'll only make it better for both of us. Like both me and you. And goodbye. I will see you in the next devlog.